or negative or positive actions.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So today's topic of our discussion is soul in Jain philosophy. So we are starting our discussion. Before we start, I mute all of you. In the end, if you have any questions, you can be able to ask. So today we are starting our discussion on soul. What is soul in Jain philosophy? And we can say that the concept of soul is very central of Jain religion as well as of Jain philosophy. If soul is taken out of Jain philosophy, then nothing will remain to discuss. Whenever we try to understand soul, we try to understand the entire universe, all the cosmic processes, their interconnections, their interdependency. So soul has crucial role in creating this cosmic, structure to some extent, and also all the cosmic processes. There are certain things which are being regulated by some other elements, but so far as the living world is concerned, it is mainly based on the concept of soul. The entire concept of Jain religion is based on the concept of soul. The entire religious practices, or you can say spirituality, that is based on the concept of soul. So soul is very crucial in Jain philosophy, in Jain religious practices. So what is soul in Jain philosophy? So we know that there was one doubt about existence or eternal existence of soul in the mind of the chief disciple of Mahavir, whose name was Indrabhuti Gautam. When he had this doubt, he was not actually Jain. He was practicing Hindu religion or Vedic religion, you can say. And he was a very great scholar of Hindu tradition. But he was not clear about the existence of soul, and he had that doubt, and he comes with that doubt to Mahavir and has asked that whether soul exists or not. Then Mahavir replies to his question that who is doubting whether it is soul or whether it is body. Body is non-physical, physical and material. It has no consciousness, it cannot doubt about itself. So one who is doubting is soul. So soul has the all such kind of cognitive behavior, cognitive actions, or you can say all intelligences and all such kind of intellectual actions or functions which we see in us that are the part of our own soul. So now we would see what is soul in Jain philosophy. So the identifying characteristic of soul is consciousness and manifestation of consciousness. So the particular technical term for consciousness in Jain philosophy is Chaitanya. And the manifestation of consciousness means the function of consciousness, and that is being recognized technically as upayoga. So here upayog doesn't mean use, though it is use, but it is use of our cognitive power or our power of knowing, which is inherited in our inner self. Soul is consciousness itself, and consciousness also is invariably soul. So there is some confusion in between these two concepts, consciousness and soul. So you can see Acharan Sutra, that is the first Jain scripture spoken by Mahavir. And in that text, you will find that Mahavir says that soul, Jay Aya se Vinaya, Jay Vinaya se Aya. It means one who is knowing is soul, and what is and the knowledge itself is soul. So here he is saying that consciousness and soul are not two different things, they are one and the same. But so far as the philosophical interpretations are concerned regarding the concept of soul and consciousness, then it is said that soul is a substance and consciousness is the defining characteristic of soul. It is the power of soul. It is the power of knowing. It is the power of perceiving. And that is inherited in soul. So each substance has some particular quality, and that quality is a kind of defining quality, and so that's why the soul is being defined by its own particular quality, and that quality is recognized as consciousness. So soul and consciousness should not be taken in two different sense, but yeah, the cognitive behavior we are able to see, and through that we are trying to know what soul is or what is its function. Soul is non-corporeal, living, eternal and permanent, and it is also fixed in number. So you can see that soul is non-corporeal, means it has no material qualities. It is only the living substance among all the other fundamental realities or substances or elements of the universe, and it is eternal. It continues its existence in all the three times. It never ceases to exist. So that's why it is permanent. And so far as the number of the souls are concerned, they are infinite and they are also very fixed. It means no new soul is emerging and no old soul or existing soul is dying. All souls are eternally existing and continuing their existence. Soul is the generic name of the sentient substance. It is non-physical and sense imperceptible. So we have seen that soul is a term which stands for all infinite number of living beings. Okay, whether they are liberated, whether they are mundane, whether they are in a subtle form, whether they are in a very gross form. All different living beings, organisms, all souls are being represented by this single term which is known as soul or Atman or Jiva, you can say, or Jivastika. It is non-physical and sense imperceptible. We cannot perceive it through our senses because our senses can see only color, smell, taste and touch, and the soul has no such kind of material qualities in it. It has consciousness that is free of color, that is free of smell, taste and touch. So this is the reason why it is not discussed in the field of science, because soul is not detected by any instrument of scientific research or scientific investigations. So soul has no place in the studies of science. They are trying to understand consciousness or intelligence or all brain functions, neural functions, but so far as the soul itself is concerned, they are not very much sure about it because it is not the subject matter of their test or experiments in their laboratories. Consciousness may be interpreted both as a structure and function of soul, but Upyog refers to the functional side only. So we have to understand that consciousness is always available in the soul. So it is the part and parcel of its structure. It is recognized because of this quality. Soul is soul till it is connected or it has the consciousness. And if there is consciousness, then there is soul. If something is losing consciousness, it means it is not actually soul or living entity. So soul is always connected with consciousness, or it is imbibing or having this innate quality for all the times, it can never be free from consciousness. So consciousness is always in the soul, whether we are sleeping, whether we are awakened. In all the states, consciousness is always present in the soul. But whenever we are trying to know any object, then we are using that power of consciousness to know the object. So, and that is called upayoga. So it is a function of our consciousness. It indicates that we are using our power of consciousness. We have immense power, infinite power of knowing in the form of consciousness. But all the times we are not using that power, and that's why upayoga is considered as a functional aspect of our consciousness. There are two types of manifestation of consciousness, or you can say two types of functions of our consciousness, and those functions are knowing power, that is called cognition, and perceiving power, that is called perception. So sensation or perception can be considered one, and cognition is another aspect of our consciousness, or another function of our consciousness, through which we try to know each and every detail of the knowledgeable object. Both of them are comprehensions in one sense, and they are trying to comprehend the object which we are curious about or which we want to know. Consciousness in mundane soul manifests in several ways. So there are several other functions of consciousness, not just knowledge, to do knowledge or to perceive, but there are certain other functions too. So for example, intelligence. This is also the one of the functions of our consciousness. Knowledge of the object, awareness about anything, intuition, whenever something is going to be in future, or we can easily, sometimes we can sense before the time, so that kind of intuitions we have. Bliss is the fundamental quality of soul. It is only the quality of soul. So bliss is also the part of our consciousness, or you can say the part and parcel of our soul. Perception, all the cognitive behaviors, they are the part of our consciousness. Emotions, they are also emerging in us, and they are also a kind of function of our consciousness. Whenever we see something, if it is according to our taste, then we become very happy, and if it is not according to our taste, then we become sad, or if it is not in favor, we become sad. So all these different emotions, they are emerging with our cognitive behavior or cognitions. Will is also part of our consciousness. Attitude, how we are perceiving any object, so that depends on our consciousness or development of our consciousness. Behavior, all cognitive behaviors, they are also being regulated, or you can say controlled by our consciousness. Feeling of pleasure and pain, so these feelings are also emerging with some knowledge about the object. So the activities of the soul are reflected in it. They leave impression on soul. The impressions are called karmas. So we see that these are different functions of our consciousness, and due to those what we say functions, we are taking some actions too, and those actions have two types of impressions in us. One, that is called memory. In the form of a memory, we have impression of our actions, whatever we are doing in this life, or we have done in the past life, all are being recorded in us in the form of memory and in the form of karmic impressions. So this is a very important topic of Jain philosophy, which is known as karma theory. So like the soul, the karma theory is one of the central core principles of Jainism. So according to Jainism, whenever we are taking an action, we are not only taking action, but we are also getting some impressions of our actions in our inner self in the form of karmic body or karmas, and they bear fruitions in future. So those karmic impressions, they are being carried out by the soul whenever it is existing in any form of life, whether in the present time or in the future time. So these karmic impressions are also being recorded in our inner self, and that is very important thing, which is determining so many things of our life. So we will discuss about karmas in detail whenever the topic will come in our discussion. Now we would see that this one fine material body is also associated all the times with our body, with our soul. So that body is called material body, and very subtle body or subtle most body, you can say, that is called a karmic body or karma body. In Hindu traditions it is known as causal body. So it is the main body which is causing all other different bodies which are associated with our souls. So this karmic body is containing all the impressions of our actions. Whatever actions we are taking at the level of mind, at the level of speech, or at physical level. So in all these different forms of activities, we are accumulating some karmic impressions in us, and they are being recorded inside in the karmic body. This body exists and accompanies the soul at the time of taking up another new body. So we know that this subtlemost body, which is known as karmic body, it is always associated with the soul so far as it is in the mundane state. After liberation or before liberation, it gives up this kind of body and liberates forever. So here we can see that this subtlemost body is always associated with the soul in its mundane state, and it is with the support of this karmic body, the soul is transforming from one body to another. It is going from one birth to another. It is taking different physical shapes. So the main reason for taking new birth and also for taking new bodies is karmic body, which is always associated with the soul. Soul has always been infested with karma. It was never free of karma. So since we are taking some or other actions, we are not in the position to give up all the actions. So we need something for survival, and that's why we are doing something from morning to night. And all the times we are active, though sometimes we take rest or go into sleep. In that state also we are thinking, dreaming, or sometimes some people do some action even in the sleeping state. So we are always in action, and those actions are attracting some new karmic particles, and those karmic particles are helping to strengthen our karmic body. So our soul is always connected with the karmic impressions or karmic particles or karmic body, because we are always in some or other actions. Karma affects soul in a particular way. Soul experiences effects of karma in future, this life or future life. So soul is doer and experiencer of karma. So we know that karmas have some effect on us. It is not necessary that whenever we are taking some action and whatever amount of karmic particles we are attracting by that action, they will bear the fruits on their fruits at the time of our action. They take some time for coming into effect. So soul is not being affected just with their actions by the karmas, but karmas take some time after action, and they come into play whenever their time comes. So, and after coming into action, you will see that the karmas have some effects on our life, and the soul experiences all those effects in the form of birth, in the form of death, in the form of sorrow or happiness, or losing someone or something which is very loving. So, all these different ups and downs come in our life. It is all due to our own karmas. So, karmas have their impact or effect on soul, and those it is not necessary that they will come in action in the same lifetime when they are accumulated, but they can give their fruition even after many lives. So in future life also they may have effect on us, and we experience all those effects. So soul is doer and experiencer of karmas. All souls in this universe undergo effects such as sorrow, happiness, birth, death, etc., so long as they are afflicted by karmas. So I have already said that these all events are happening with us because of the karmic baggages, karmic residue, which is associated with our soul due to our own right and wrong actions. Souls who get emancipated from these effects of karma are designated as liberated souls, whom we say Paramatma or Siddha or Mukta. So, yes, though it is not very easy to come out of the karmic bondage or to put the karmic bondage to an end, for that we need very hard effort, very deep spiritual practices. But yes, those who are making such kind of efforts, they are liberating from the karmic bondages and reaching to the moksha state, which is a pure and perfect state of our own inner self. So, yeah, and they are recognized as Paramatma or Siddha or Bhagwan, like this. Life and consciousness are coextensive. Wherever there is life, there is consciousness, and vice versa. All organisms have consciousness. So we know that if there is some life in any elements, it means it must have consciousness or it must have soul. So life, soul, consciousness, all are coextensive. They go side by side or they go together. They are not separate phenomena, they are one and same. Wherever there is life, there is consciousness, and vice versa. Okay. So there are certain people who think that the plants have life but no consciousness, the animals have life but not consciousness. So it is impossible. Okay, life is not possible without consciousness. So life and consciousness both are interchangeable terms, or you can say they are always together. They are not separate from each other. If consciousness is there, then can emerge in that in particular element. All organisms, whether they are bacteria or microbes or insects or mosquitoes or any other bigger forms of life or developed form of life, all organisms, whether they are liberated souls even, all have consciousness. Without consciousness, you cannot expect anyone as living. So, but there are degrees of explicitness or manifestation of consciousness in different organisms. In the lowest class of organisms, it is very much latent, which while in human beings, it is very much manifest. So we know that there are different, there is hierarchy of in development of consciousness, and because of that there is a hierarchy among the living beings from one sense to five sense, or from mundane to liberated souls. So you can see as we grow in our consciousness, or our consciousness develops, we get more and more explicit manifestation or explicitness or manifestation of consciousness in us, and because of that we can be able to do many more things which the lowest class of organisms cannot do. So humans are considered as having the highest degree of consciousness, while the once living beings who are recognized as immobile living beings like the earth, water, fire, air, and vegetables, they are having very least development of consciousness. Soul is entirely distinct from inanimate matter, which does not possess consciousness. So we have to see that at present we are perceiving so many devices which are being created with the support of AI or AGI, and they are becoming more intelligent, more sharp, more fast in their cognitive calculations, etc. In comparison to human beings, but they are, after all, some material devices or programmed devices which have been created by some real intelligent human being or scientist. So here we have to understand that matter after all is matter. It works till it is properly programmed, or it is plugged in, or it has support of electricity. Otherwise, it can stop anytime functioning. But the real exist in the consciousness or real intelligence, which is found especially in the soul, it never ceases to exist, or it is never dependent on any material devices or electrical powers. So, soul is entirely distinct or different from inanimate matter, whether it is in the form of AI or AGI or robotics or any other things. There are infinite numbers of the soul in the cosmos. It is said that each iota of the space is having some kind of conscious being or conscious element. And according to Jainism, there are infinite number of souls which are spread throughout the cosmic space, which is sometimes visible for us, or some part we are just able to see some part of the universe and not the entire cosmos, but the whole cosmos is full of living beings. They are very subtle, they are invisible for us, but each space point is having some living beings. So we have to see that this whole cosmos is full of living beings, full of matter, and those subtle living beings and subtle matter, they are invisible. Though in the field of science, the invisible matter is being recognized as a black matter, which is really not visible to them, but they are considering that there is matter, immense matter in the space, which can come in the concrete form in future, but at present they are not visible, perceptible to our senses, and that's why we are not able to use them. So here we can see just that the souls are also infinite in number, and they are spread throughout the cosmic space. Life essentials of worldly soul are senses, 1 to live, 5, mental, vocal, bodily activities, duration of life, and respiration. So these are the four, you can say, vital energies or vital powers or vitalities of soul, which are very essential for a soul to live in mundane state. And it is these four are essential for all forms of organisms, so whether they are bacteria or microbes or any developed form of life. These four are essential for all the living organisms. So they might have senses 1 to 5. Someone has only the one sense. For example, the immobile living beings, earth, water, fire, air, and vegetables, they are having just one sense. There are certain living beings who have two senses. Some are having 3, 4, and 5. So we are human beings, so we have all the 5 senses. And all the living beings, they are always functioning. They are doing some taking some actions. If they have mental development, then they are thinking, reasoning, classifying, arguing, whatever is mental functions they can do, and they are doing with the support of their mind. The speech, those who are having mouth or vocal cord, For example, from 2 sense to 5 sense living beings, they are able to speak, and that's why they are also functioning at the level of their speech. And next is bodily functions. So all living beings have at least the body, and that's why they are doing something with the support of their body. So bodily actions you can see in all the mundane souls or living beings. And duration of life, yes, to survive in particular form of life you need the support of lifespan determining karmas or vitalities, and that's why you have certain duration of life, how long we survive in particular form of life, that is called duration of life or ayushya. And the respiration is very, very essential to be recognized as living, having life. So it is a life supportive power which is being regulated in our body in the form of respiration, and through that we are inhaling, exhaling, or breathing in and breathing out. Now soul is identical with body, the former exists in the later. So the soul and body are mixed together in such a way that they look identical, and that's why sometimes the people understand that it is body which is living, what to say, apart from body there is no other independent soul. So there are certain we can say materialistic people who consider that body itself is living, and consciousness or soul are not separate from the body. But it is because the soul and body are mixed together in such a way that it is very difficult for them to identify that soul is different from body. But yeah, they are living together, and soul is being occupied by the body, but body is separate from the soul. So that we have to understand. According to Jainism, it is very crucial for understanding that soul and body are separate phenomena. They are not one and the same. And this is what Samyak Darshan. Until and unless we have this kind of understanding about the soul, we cannot go further into our spiritual practices. So it is very important for us to understand that soul and body are together. It doesn't mean that soul and body are identical in absolute sense. In embodied existence, soul and body appear to be same, but this is not really so. Body is different from soul, as I have said. So on death, body is left over, soul does not lie and takes up a new body. So here you can see that the soul, how soul and body are separate. So whenever there is death, we find that the soul goes to another form of life. It transfers from one body to another body, and this body is died in that sense, because the soul is has come out of it, and it has lost all the vital functions, vital energies, and consciousness. There is life in the body so long as soul is associated with. The body is dead when the soul departs. Okay, so yeah, still the soul is associated with the body. It looks like living, and as soon as the soul comes out of it, it becomes the dead. So this happens, and this is called death. Dimension of extent of soul decreases and increases according to the size of body. Of course, when since the soul has no particular shape or you can say structure in that way, and it increases and it decreases according to the shape and size of the body. If soul enters into the body of a microbe, then it takes the shape of the microbe. And if it enters into the body of an elephant, then it becomes magnified like the elephant. So the size of the soul depends on the size of the body. This changes does not affect the fundamental substantiality of soul. Its basic essence remains unchanged. But in spite of taking different forms according to the body shapes, The soul never loses its own substantiality, or you can say its own essential nature. It remains always unchanged, or you can say same in all different forms of bodies. It has the same kind of consciousness, though it may be less developed. It depends on the physical senses, that how many senses we have, the soul can manifest according to the development of the senses. Is the one sense living beings have only one sense, that is the body or skin, you can say. So the soul can see or know only through skin, but not through other senses. But potentially it remains the same as it is originally. Souls are existent in every iota of space in the universe, and that will be discussed in the discussion when we take the topic of biology. You will see that how each iota of space is having some kind of conscious elements, and how it is being recognized in the field of biology. All living beings have similar potential, powers and abilities, but every living organism is in a different state of manifestation. So as I have already said, that it depends that what kind of karmas one has accumulated, because of that what kind of body it gets, and according to the development of the physical senses or body, the soul can be able to know the things. So the development of consciousness depends on the development of the senses or mind, or you can say bodily other things. But potentially they are having same consciousness, whether it is the soul of microbe, whether it is the soul of elephant, whether it is the soul of a mundane soul, or whether it is the soul of liberated soul. All are having same kind of potentials, same amount of power of knowing and perceiving or doing something. So the same, potentially we all are same, and that's why it is said that we all are equal. We should not think that we are superior than any other living beings. Other living beings are also potentially having the same qualities which we are having. Yeah, there may be some difference in the manifestation or in the development of our consciousness or our potentials. So it depends on our karmas and also on our actions, how many efforts we are doing for developing ourselves. So yes, so with this I think the topic is finished today. If somebody has any questions, they can raise the question. There is another topic of discussion too, in which we will discuss about the concept of soul in the light of other philosophical systems of India and the abroad, and also in the field of science, what scientists are thinking about the consciousness or about the soul. Though soul is not the subject matter of scientific investigation, but they are working on consciousness or brain functions. So we would see that how they are trying to understand consciousness, at least in the cognitive power of the soul. So with that, I conclude my discussion of today. That today we have discussed about the soul and its functions, and how the mundane soul is associated with the karmic bodies, and how karmic body is having effect on the soul, and because of that what kind of effects are being experienced by our souls. So I'm unmuting. If somebody has any question, they can text.
समणी जी, मुझे एक क्वेश्चन है, बीना बात कर रही हूँ.
Yes.
What is the difference between consciousness and higher consciousness? And where the soul resides?
Okay. You have said consciousness and
Higher consciousness. Is there something like higher consciousness and
correct.
consciousness?
Yes.
Subconsciousness?
Correct. Yes. So we know that there are two types of consciousness. One is sensory and other one is extrasensory. Okay, so most from one sense to five sense to human beings, you can say we have mostly at present we have only sensory knowledge. It means we are knowing through our senses and our mind or intellect, you can say, or intelligence. So how much intelligence we have, we are working according to that. So that come under the sensory knowledge or sensory power of knowing. But there are higher consciousness which are being recognized as extrasensory knowledge, and that is a direct knowledge of soul. And that higher consciousness has three forms. One is called Avadhigyan, second is Manaparigyan, and the third, the highest one, is called Kevalgyan. Okay, so the Kevalgyan, the highest consciousness, that is the full and perfect form of our consciousness, or pure form of our consciousness. Sometimes it is said pure consciousness. So these
So
are
that's
these are three levels of higher consciousness. So Avadhigyan can be achieved by even the hellish living beings and also the heavenly living beings, and by human beings also, by doing some spiritual effort in this particular time. But the mind reading knowledge, which is known as Manaparayogyan and the Kevalgyan, they are higher forms of consciousness, and they depend on the very deep spiritual pursuit. Clear?
so that means in that higher consciousness there is no more of sensory senses. It's more clarity of mind, and that leads to samyak darshan, as we talked about, and to the moksha. I mean, the meditation where you get clarity of thoughts is more in the higher consciousness to go towards the soul, close to
Yes,
that.
of course, that is very clear. But higher, first you have to achieve that higher consciousness, and
Right,
that
right.
you need
Correct.
some darshan, no?
Correct.
So
Yeah, no,
some
no, I
darshan,
understand.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So every soul has the same form, because then it's Samyak Darshan is the same form for every liberated soul, right? Atma.
Samyak darshan is
Is every for like, see, we have 24 Tirthankar, correct? So they
yes,
have all same kind of soul of clarity and
correct.
achievement of moksha and
Yes,
Tirthankara,
yes.
correct?
So
So that way, okay,
yes, you can say. So they have perfect samyak darshan. That is called Kshayi
okay,
samyak darshan. Okay.
okay.
They are not doubtful about any realities.
Right, right.
They have
I mean, they're beyond that,
all
and
and
that
full
doesn't touch them.
yes, they have full
Mhm.
clarity about the fundamental realities of the
Right,
universe
right.
and their own.
They overcome all those stages, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other?
Yeah.
Yes. Sunilji, you
Yes,
have a question? Yeah.
Swami Namaswami. A question, Namaswami. In order to change our habits, they say you have to reach to subconscious mind.
Correct.
What is the relationship between subconscious mind and soul, Swamiji?
Correct. So, when we say consciousness, it means somehow it is connected with our consciousness or soul. After all, subconscious is nothing. It is our own state in between the conscious mind and the soul. So it is just one step ahead. We are going to the conscious, from conscious mind to the next level, that is the subconscious mind, and it is a kind of state where we are creating our five senses and mind. Okay, which is wandering here and there and not able to implement something which is which can be controlled, especially by the subconscious level. So in subconscious at the level of subconscious mind, what happens actually, the inner self who is working with some sense data or some affirmations or resolutions which we want to implement in our life. But at the time of conscious mind, functioning of conscious mind, we are not able to implement that. So there is such kind of affirmations, when they reach to subconscious level, they easily come into action. Okay, so that is a piece, you can say, conscious state, but it is not in that sense which is we understand as under the conscious mind. Okay, it is a subtle level of our consciousness, and that is able to implement our affirmations or resolutions.
So, Samneji, whatever we do from our conscious mind, does that go into subconscious mind eventually?
Yes, those things which we are repeating again and again, that are also reaching at some conscious level, and they are also becoming the part of our habits sometimes. Sometimes we are thinking about some wrong things repeatedly, and they also become the part of our action, because they are going to subconscious level and coming into behavior or action.
And I think that's what becomes sanskar, right? Sanskar is a
Yes,
manifestation of subconscious mind.
correct, yes.
So, Samaniji, that habits will keep you away from clarity of mind. We have to always uh, get detached, and forgiveness and our pratikam and all those things helps to make our higher consciousness better to not
Yes.
having this sanskar.
Yes, that
Okay.
is required. Yes. So forgiveness is not enough. Sometimes I say that you have to forget also.
Right.
Okay, we do forgiveness every
Yeah.
year and repeat the same thing
No,
again
no, no.
and again.
It's a totally of self-realization, and you have to purify your consciousness. Even forgiveness word doesn't matter when you practice, if you have that attitude.
Yes.
I have one question. Hansa ji, you can go ahead first.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. Namaskar, Samni ji. मेरा question है कि you mentioned something. Soul is, I guess, not visible, or it does not have a visible form. So visible, if it does not have a visible form, my question is that we believe in birth and rebirth and karma theory.
Correct.
So our karmas do, and we say our karmas do get attached to the soul. Now, so karma, I mean, it seems like a particle or something like a physical matter. When it gets attached to the soul, there is confusion whether it is really any matter or not, and how we are not able to see that, and what's the nature of the soul. Because people these days talk about everything into the waves and particles and whatever. But if we say Atma is not a substance, then how does the karma theory work with us? That's the confusion.
Okay, so far as I could understand your question, I would say that soul is non-physical. It has no material qualities. That's why it is imperceptible to our senses, but it is perceptible through our body function. Okay, all the functions which all sensory functions, we are perceiving, we are hearing, we are listening, we are tasting, we are touching, we are thinking. All these cognitive behaviors, they are being regulated by our inner self, our consciousness. Okay, so through our body functions, you can easily say that yes, this guy is very intelligent, or this guy has very good consciousness, or higher consciousness, or lower consciousness, whatever you want to say. So this all cognitive behavior, they are becoming the source to know that we are living entities. We have some kind of what we say soul inside, and that's why we are functioning like this. So, so far as the karmic body is concerned, it is also invisible in the sense that it has only 4 touches. Okay, so it has not that kind of a gross form which our senses can see. We can see only the gross objects which are having 8 types of touches. Okay, so but the karmic particles have only the 4 touches. So those karmic material, though it is material, it is perceptible to the avadhigyanis, those who are having a higher consciousness. They can see the karmic particles, but they cannot see the soul. The mind readers, they cannot, mind readers doesn't mean the general mind readers. I am saying the person who is having mind reading knowledge, Manaparyo Gyan. They can see the thought waves. They can see your all mental images, your mental functions clearly, but they cannot see the soul, because soul is non-physical, non-material. These four types of knowledge: sensory knowledge, articulate knowledge, clairvoyance, which is called avadhi gyan, and mind reading knowledge, that is mana paryogyan. All these four knowledges have capacity to see the material things. They may be subtle, they may be gross. Clear? But yeah, but so far as the soul is concerned, it can be known only through omniscience, through Keval Jnana. That knowledge is only capable to see the soul itself, because it is non-physical, it has no material qualities. The karmic matter has all the material qualities: touch, taste, smell, okay, color. But it is having only four touches, which are invisible or below the ranges of our senses. Clear? So that's
Yeah.
why we are not able to see them.
I have a question, Samji. So,
Yeah.
the two questions. One is, do Siddha Jeeves in Siddha Shila have soul and consciousness both?
Correct.
And if soul and consciousness are just the qualities of soul is a consciousness, is there something where we can say which one is more important than the other one? Like, is soul is the blissful state, while consciousness are something where we are thinking, but we should avoid those things and focus only on soul? Are they two different things?
Okay, yes. See, first of all, we have to understand that consciousness, without consciousness, there is no soul. Or without soul, there is no consciousness. So they are not two separate phenomena in that sense. Okay, they are one and the same.
Mhm.
Clear? So the
Okay.
siddhas are also having consciousness. Siddha becomes when the consciousness is developed to its fullest form.
Okay.
Okay?
So even in Shila, those jeeves have full consciousness.
Yes.
So they don't do any karma or anything there. So what
Because
is involved?
they are accomplished souls. They have no desire to do anything. They have no physical need even, because they have no body, no emotions. Okay, so
Okay.
they don't need anything. Soul doesn't need anything material. So why they have to work for, and for what purpose they have to work? They
So
are
then,
accomplished. They have done whatever they wanted to do.
so then all these qualities that you highlighted, like intelligence, knowledge, awareness, intuition, so are these not needed for a soul to be in siddhas? Like, what is the quality they will always rejoice for? Like,
Okay,
is
so
intelligence? Yeah.
yeah, Siddhas have infinite power of knowledge, or you can say infinite consciousness. They have infinite bliss, so they always remain in blissful state. Second, third is they have infinite energy, so their energy never becomes what we say decreased or never decreased. It is always there in infinite amount, and they also have infinite power of perception. So, what we need actually in this mundane life, after all, what we are looking for, we want to be happy, okay, and that's why we are working. We want to get money or other material stuffs or comforts and pleasures, because we want to be happy. So they are always in blissful state. It is the higher state or a higher form of happiness. So
Okay.
material happiness is nothing before this spiritual happiness or blissful state. So they are always in that state. And
Okay.
next you want some knowledge about the things. They have knowledge already about about all cosmic realities, or about all whatever is existing in the universe. So
Thank you.
they don't need for any getting for any kind of knowledge also. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Pranam Didi. Pranam
Sorry.
Didi. Pranam Didi. Dr. Mahesh is
Yes.
speaking from.
Yes, Mahesh, Dr. Mahesh.
See, what is subtle body?
What is subtle body? There are two subtle bodies according to Jainism. There are five actually bodies. One is called gross body. Right now we say physical body, which is perceptible to all of us. which are having. And the second is called protein body, that is especially taken by the heavenly beings and the hellish beings, and the human beings can also get such kind of mystical power to create that kind of body. And next is ahara communication body, which is used as a mobile by the great seers and sages who have particular such kind of mystical powers in them. So they can create that communication body, that is called the ahara body. Now the subtle bodies. There are two subtle bodies. One is bioelectrical body, which is called vitality or vital energy inside us. And due to that, our food is being digested, our all body functions are taking place. And whatever we are able to do, we can do only with the support of that energy. So that is bioelectrical body, which is known as Tejas body. And the subtlemost body is the karmic body, that is the karma. Which is carrying all the karmic impressions. Okay, so that subtlemost body is the main body, causal body. All other bodies are being caused because of this karmic body.
In one other way, you can say that it's a projection of soul's energy only, na subtle body.
Okay, yeah, you can say that it is working in limitation due to this karmic body, though it has immense power and finite power. Okay, but it is unable to manifest its full potential because of the karmic impressions or karmic body.
It is the energy of the soul itself, na? It's the energy of the soul only.
It is a body which is obstructing actually the power of soul. It is not allowing the power of soul in its fullest form. Yes, but whatever is development we are having inside or in the form of as a living being or intelligent being, so that how much consciousness is developed, it is because of our inner purity, and not it is because of the karmas. Okay, whatever we are not able to know, that is because of the karmic body.
The third thing which I want to ask is when a soul attains Keval Gyan state, a state of higher consciousness, so his subtle body becomes very pure, full of pure energy. Can it replicate into any more times? Like if he develops one pure subtle body, then the Siddha Yogi, can he produce some 100, 200, 3,000, thousands of subtle bodies?
So it depends that if he has such kind of mystical powers, due to that he can create 100 and 1,000 and more than that numbers of the bodies. Okay, so that is a kind of mystical power which is called a riddhi or siddhi. Okay, and you are saying that when we develop higher consciousness, then our karmic body becomes more pure and pure. So I would say that if we are developing in ourselves, it means we are trying to we are coming out of this karmic impression. The effect, we are trying to eliminate the karmic body, which is obstructing actually our higher consciousness. Okay, so as much as we become able to eliminate this karmic body, then we can have more and more consciousness or higher consciousness.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
It is not because of the karmic body we are getting knowledge. Okay, the knowledge is coming from our soul. The main source of our higher consciousness is our own inner self. Clear? Karmic body is creating obstacle in that in development of that higher consciousness actually. So that's why we are practicing such kind of higher meditation or deep meditation to eliminate this karmic body, which is creating obstacles in our development of our potentials.
Okay, thank you.
Neji, one question. So the level of consciousness we develop, that depends on what body we take. Like the humans have higher level of consciousness compared to the level of consciousness a single cell organism have, right?
Yes,
Their
yes,
consciousness is not that evolved. Uh,
correct.
and we as a human can have a samyak darshan in that sense. But can one sense organism can also have a samyak darshan, even though their consciousness is not that evolved?
See, according to Jainism, one says living beings have no samyak darshan, they are mithya drishti because they have no such level of development of their consciousness that they can, they can then because of that they can understand that they are soul and not body or not any other material form of life. So they have no such kind of development of consciousness. So they are always mithya drishti. But yes, they can be samyak darshini in their past life. Okay. And after coming out of this one sense life form, they can again be can achieve that samyak darshan.
So in that same life form, they cannot have samyak darshan.
No, because they have no that kind of development of their consciousness actually. They are
Okay.
least developed living beings.
So then there is a question, if the soul, if I become in another life a vegetable or a whatever, static a leaf, then my Samyak Darshan is gone. Suppose it is, where is it hiding and where would it come back in my another life if I turn to be an ant or something else?
Yes. Okay. So it is said that from one sense to five sensed unsexual living beings. Okay, all are mithya drishti. They are not samyak drishti.
But Samyak Drashti can go down into the Mithya Drashti, right? Because of my bad karmas. I can go down, right?
Yes.
So if I went down, then my Samyak Darshan is gone. But then I
When
also have a chance to become elevated again. And
yes,
Samyak Darshan will come back. Where
come
is it
back. Yes.
hiding? Where is it hiding from my soul? So my question is that our soul is one. My soul is going through the different bodies and different lives.
Correct.
So what happens to the Samyak Darshan at that point? Is it still a part of the soul and just being subdued, or whatever I...
Yes, you can say that it is subdued because of your state, physical state, okay,
Yeah.
in which your consciousness is somehow what we say non-functional to that extent, in which you can see that okay, I am soul and no other thing, nothing else. So that kind of consciousness is not developed in remaining in that physical form of life, which are considered from one sense to unsexual five sense living beings. Okay,
Okay.
this physical state is actually hindering your higher consciousness or your sense of samyak darshan even.
Samani ji,
तो
this is
समय
here.
जी एक क्वेश्चन मेरा है कि
Yes.
हम जब हायर कॉन्शियसनेस में जब बताते हैं कि चिंतक को वो जब सम्यक दर्शन के करीब आते हैं तो
Yes.
वो हायर कॉन्शियस को वो स्टेट पे उसको आत्मा का स्वरूप बोल सकते हैं उसको
किस तीर्थंकर को
नहीं वो हायर कॉन्शियसनेस में जब वो प्योरिटी एंड स्टेट ऑफ माइंड आ जाता है वो स्टेबिलिटी आ जाती है मोक्ष की और वो जो स्टेट ऑफ माइंड रहती है तो वो हायर कॉन्शियसनेस में ही होता है तो उसको आत्मा का स्वरूप बोल सकते हैं कि वो डिफरेंट है
no, that is the part of consciousness or soul, you can say. Yeah, the high, when you get samyak darshan, you can get samyak darshan even in the second gunasthan, also in the fourth gunasthan. Okay, so second gunasthan is very momentary. It is for just for 6 avlikas. It doesn't stay for longer period. So you come back to the mithyatva state. But when you are coming to the fourth is gunasthan, you have not accepted any vow of householders, or you have not accepted any ascetic rules even. But you might have samyak darshan, even kshayik samyak darshan in fourth gunasthan, because of your past such kind of knowledge of things, that you know that what is soul, what is other elements, how you are separate from them. So you can be very clear about your own existence. Okay? Remaining in the fourth gunasthan.
Okay. Thank you.
In that state you are not observing any vows. Okay, you are not practicing any religion even.
Right. Yeah, that's all. Okay.
Samani, this
Thank you.
is right. Just one more question.
Yes.
when you say that the soul is infinite and it is attached to only the karma, so is there a deciding factor that who is deciding this karma and how the soul is transferring from one body to another body, and what is the controlling factor that this soul will go to a single sense being, or it'll go to the narki, first narki, second narki, third narki, or it'll go to become a siddha? How does that controlling, who is deciding this controlling power, and how does it evolve?
It is you only and your action. Okay, you are the agent, and you are taking such kind of actions which are accumulating such kind of karmic baggages, and those karmic baggages are determining your next life what we say destination. Okay, so after all, your action is the main agent or main factor which is causing all these ups and downs or all physical different situations in our life. Okay, so karmic baggages are being attracted by our own actions, and we have to be, that's why Jainism is more strong in ethical principles, in the sense that it says that after all, your action is your maker of your fate. Okay, so be conscious about your action, how you are living your life, what you are doing in your life. Okay, so if you are living a good life, taking good action, right actions, you will not accumulate that kind of karmas. And if you are taking some wrong actions, doing some immoral things, you are getting such kind of karma, and that's why you are going to the lower states of life.
Is there a balance in the heavenly bodies? Like there are supposed to be so many siddhas, there are so many people in this narki, or so many. Is there some kind of a balance in this universe, or it's only depend upon the karmas you do?
Yeah, it is not a matter of
Because
balance
you have said
actually.
that there are only 24 Tirthankars in one yug. So
Yes.
24 siddhas who are forming every yug. What about
Mhm.
the souls in that yug?
Okay. First of all, we have to understand that there is no matter of balance actually. How we are evolving or devolving. Okay, whether it depends on our karmas or our actions, and it is not fixed that there will always be 24 tirthankars. I say that in every time cycle there are two time, though it is one time cycle, and it has two what we say parts, ascending and descending ones. So if you consider ascending one is as one side time cycle, then there is not only 24 tirthankars. In that time cycle also you will find it in the entire human spheres there are 400 tirthankars. Okay, and number of other tirthankars who are not really who have not taken the position of tirthankars, but they were evolving to reaching to the state of tirthankar in the same life, and their number is too very big number. I can show in our next lecture how many potential tirthankars are there. Okay, how many see in Mahavide we say that each tirthankar has at 8,000 what to say 84,000 lake purvas of lifespan, and all other tirthankars they were ready in line and pipeline that as soon as the first tirthankar will attain liberation, then the next will come in the position of tirthankars. So there will always be 20 tirthankars all the times in Mahavide, and in pipeline thousands of such potential tirthankars are there. Okay.
Okay. So there will be a time when all souls will become Tirthankar?
No, this is what here you can see that balance. Okay, there will always be infinite such souls in the world who will always be available in the mundane states, though some of them are always liberating from them, but it doesn't affect the number of the mundane souls. Okay, we can say that one or two drops are coming out of the ocean. What makes it to the full ocean? It doesn't affect anything. Okay, the ocean is full of water, and if 2, 3, 4 drops come out of it, what does it do? It is nothing before the ocean.
Okay. Thank you, Vallabhi.
Just we can see that we are 6 billion or 7 billion human beings on the earth. How many of us are ready to liberate in this very life? How many? We are looking for some other things. We are not looking for liberation. There are hardly few numbers who are striking for liberation and putting all energies for that. Clear? So you can imagine how many will liberate in future also.
In Samiji, we are talking about only on this earth, but there are so many other earths may be present which we do not even know at this point.
It is true. Though we know, the scientists do not know.
Yeah.
Samani ji, I have one question. So
Yes.
these physical things, how does soul experiences them through senses? That I understand. But then there is some conversion which is happening from physical to non-physical. Somehow this knowledge is getting transferred to a non-physical layer.
Yeah.
Now, who is converting that, and whose power is being used to convert that? Is that Tejas power that is being used to convert?
Yeah, the Tejas power can help you a lot. Okay, you can go into deep meditation. So after all, it is our inner self which is making hard effort to elevate, to evolve itself. Actually, is it? So, and for that evolution, it needs the help of physical body. It needs the help of vital body. It needs the help of environment. It needs the help of knowledge and other and near dear ones. Because if I want to meditate for a longer period, I need the help of my some nearby ones, that they should take care of my physical body when I am going into deep meditation. So see, we are taking the help. After all, it is our soul which is making the hard effort to evolve itself. Okay, so it is our inner effort, and that is being made by our own inner self, and no one else. Other bodies can support you. They are not living. They are not conscious elements. Okay, they don't know where you have to reach.
Okay, my question was more like, let's assume I hold a soft toy, for example, right? So how is the process of understanding that soft toy begins? It starts from the touches, sensory, then it comes to my somehow I interpret that, and then there could be like the soul may understand, okay, what is this material thing, and then a reaction can come in whether I have to press that soft toy or not. So how is this process goes through, like from a material thing, how it goes?
Okay, so according to the what we say Jain epistemology, that is the science of knowledge, or you can say process of knowledge. So according to us, first of all, we have all these senses, eyes, ear, etc. Okay, so either we see some object from distance and sense them. First of all, that is called a sensation. And when we sense any object, whether it is on distance or whether it is very close or under the range, then as soon as we get the sensation, we start thinking about it. So first we can speculate. Okay, we can think that what this object can be. So that is called a speculation state, iha state. Okay, first grasping, then iha, then we think that what it should be. So we see that it is giving this kind, it is looking like in this color, in this shape, it must be a table, it must be a paper, or it must be pen, anything else. So like that we first speculate, and then we come to a decision that it must be a table, and then it is imprinted in our mind that it is table. This kind of object is called a table. Then any other time when we see the same kind of object, we at once recognize that it is table, because it is already imprinted in our mind. Okay, so this is the way of knowing this general process at sensory level. Okay, so far as the extrasensory knowledge is concerned, it is directly regulated by our own inner self. It means if we have that kind of potential in us, we can see at once whatever is at distance. through avdhigya. If somebody is coming to us to ask any question, but he did not start, he does not start talking to us, but before he asks anything, we can see that what kind of questions is going on in his head, and we can say that you are thinking about this thing. So we must have that kind of direct potential, direct higher knowledge of consciousness, and through that we can easily know. We don't need the support of mind, we don't need any support of senses, we don't need even any other factors to support us to know that particular object or things.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. There are good questions, good discussion. So
Vandami Namaskar.
Gives me Swami. Thank you.
there is there would be one lecture which I have given today, and there would be another lecture in which you would see that what about soul in other philosophical systems and also in science. So that lecture would be from my professor, that is Anil Kachara. So I
Vandami, we
both
didn't
the
see.
lectures today, two lectures you can see on your blackboard. Yes.
We didn't see the quiz again, Vandami.
Why?
We didn't. Had one last week, but since then I haven't seen another one.
No, another one I will just release after the lecture, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Till we don't discuss anything, we don't release the clip.
sure. ठीक है.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Vandami. Kritak gives me.
Have a good day.